I need to get to level 80 and acquire at least some semblance of the pre-raid gear before Naxxramas opens its gates. Hey there! Remember how I said that we need to get to level 80 and have no time to waste? Yeah, so after that, I haven't played for like 5 days, and therefore we're now on a really tight schedule to make it into the raid once the next comes out. So buckle up, because it's gonna be a fucking grind. So we left off at the point where I finished my Pardenborian Tundra and hashed out the Shatrath. After that I went to the Undercity and jumped on a Zeppelin to Howling Fjord. Then I get my gear for the dungeon quest and go straight to Grizzly Hills. No stops on the way since we're going right past the Grizzly Hills and... Wow. That's beautiful. God, I love Grizzly Hills. Sorry for that, guys, but I just have to share my appreciation for this place. There is so much life packed into this tiny bit of land. The colors are nice, the vibe's incredible. The music's like the angels flew straight down to earth and started playing directly into my ears. 10 out of 10 vibe. But I digress. We're in a grind after all, gentlemen. So we zoom right through the Grizzly Hills, pop a dungeon on the way, get a flight path, and keep running till we arrive at Dragonblight. Oh, and one thing, remember the plan? Now, you see right here it says 7 days. Boom, now it's only 2 days. Normal person would say, okay, fuck it, I'll take my time, just keep on raid lockout, no biggie. Not me though. Here's how we are going to catch up on all the progress I've missed. Spam dungeons, 8 to 12 hours game sessions. Spam dungeons. If I'm questing somewhere, no more fun allowed, straight to rep grind. Spam dungeons. What else? Spam dungeons. For now, that's the plan. The only plan. If you are of a perceptive kind, you have probably figured that dungeons are a crucial part of my plan. But if you think, nah, that's easy. Yeah, not if you're me. Remember the dungeon I ran while passing the Grizzly Hills? Well, first of all, I joined a party that was already halfway through the dungeon, which means they have kicked somebody before I joined. Bad omen. And what do you think happened to me? Yep, I got kicked like 2 minutes in. You might wonder what for. I'll tell you, and listen closely. For putting down the wrong fire totem. And let me give you a bit of explanation of what does that actually mean, and why those min-max WoW sweatlords should never be treated seriously. Also, guys, go try having fun in this game for a change.
I hate it whenever people play the game for fun, man. Like this, I fucking hate it.
You see, I, as a shaman, have 5 fire totems to choose from. Number 1, Searing Totem, the one I used. It throws fireballs at a single enemy. Low mana cost, lasts for a minute, which is commendable. Pretty low damage, but just like any other fire totem, still enables you to use Fire Nova. Number 2, Magma Totem. Pulses with fire every 2 seconds, damaging every enemy nearby. The best totem damage-wise, no doubt about it, but very mana heavy. And it lasts for 20 seconds only. You need at least 3 of those on every boss. Number 3, Flame Tongue Totem. Totem for casters that boosts magic damage. Costs almost twice the mana of the Searing Totem, and it lasts for 5 minutes, which is mostly unnecessary since almost all the encounters in the dungeon last for like 1, maybe 2 minute stops. And then there's also a Fire Elemental Totem with a 10-minute cooldown, which you only use on some bosses, and Frost Resistance Totem, which is useless in most situations, so we take those 2 out of the equation. Since I'm not a bitch to barely boost some clowns at my own expense, the choice narrows to 2 options, Searing Totem and Magma Totem. To make sure I wasn't missing some crazy benefit of Flame Tongue, as a reasonable man, I whipped out the formulas for how the spell damage works, looked up their DPS from the footage along with the Mage and Warlock rotations from an online guide and calculated what the bonus would be. And it would turn out to be at around 1% DPS boost for 2 casters in a group, and about 0.5% for me. And Searing Totem gives 4% bonus to my DPS. Now, if I use Magma with my 6k mana pool, I run out of mana within like 20 to 30 seconds after every single pack, and way before any boss dies, which is not optimal. But if I use Searing Totem, I save a ton of mana, which allows me to last longer, clear the dungeons quicker, and deal more damage overall during the boss encounters. To me, the choice was obvious, but to those people who you never want to run into, the concept of playing a game without mindlessly following some meta from an online guide is something unfathomable, and shit like this always gets me. Even when I know that I did absolutely nothing wrong, and I was just paired with some arrogant bozos, this awkwardness creeps in anyway. But with the bigger goal in my scope, I shook off this feeling, and while I was on cooldown to run more dungeons, went to quest and farm some Wyrmers to cord reputation. The quests were mostly focused in this part of the map, and since everyone was grinding rep, the player activity here was pretty high. So I've done a few quests that took a moderate amount of time. Everything was going fine until I was tasked with acquiring the Plume of Alistrus. What's that? I'll explain. The Plume of Alistrus is a quest item that drops from this one specific elite mob with 100k health and a 5-minute respawn timer. With that many players questing here, I would definitely skip that one. But since you can kill him with a group of 5 people and everyone gets the item, I thought it should be fine. When I arrived at his nest, there were already 2 groups patiently waiting for his respawn. The first in line was a group of Alliance. Starting a battle was pointless as it could easily spiral up into a Griffin Fest, and no one wanted that. Since the Alliance came here first, we were going to let them get the first tag and then grab the second respawn for ourselves. Sounds easy, right? Wrong.
5 minutes later.
The first part of the plan went as expected. The Alliance group took the kill and went on their way. Also, right after that, Druid came and asked for an invite. The Warrior Mage kindly responded that we are full, implying that he will have to get in line and wait for the next one after us.
5 minutes later.
I honestly don't understand how that happened, but Alistrus responded to a scene of 3 fat chickens spamming Moonfire at him. How the fuck did they multiply that fast? But one thing I do understand. There's not much you can do to steal the tag from a gang like this.
5 minutes later.
This time, I won't let anything like this happen. Utilizing my secret parkour techniques, I've settled at the closest spot to its respawn location, and was holding my finger on the flame shock, ready to pull the trigger the second he comes back to life. Now, there's no way anyone gets the tag before me.
So fucking close.
The tag goes to random Shadow Priest, and Shadow Priests who steal quest mob tags are a recurrent theme in my journey. So in a similar kind, I told my group not to help him, so he dies and we finally get a well-deserved tag. But unfortunately, the warrior in the group turned out to be infected by a disease called Warrior Brain, and therefore couldn't hold back for 30 seconds.
What happened? Axe happened!
That helped the priest just enough to let him finish the mob and survive at a mockingly low health. He secured the win in the first round, but the war was far from over. Right after that, the priest went mad and started trash-talking me in whispers, to what I, as a person with extensive experience in such communication, responded in a similar fashion. Little fish swam straight into shark waters. I won't show you the whole chat since it was highly inappropriate, but let me state this. The last word was mine. Only then, after almost half an hour of standing and waiting, have we earned the right to stand and hit for 20 seconds before finally getting this quest done. I said thank you, GG, and left the group. Finally, I was done with this cursed place. I'm telling you, that series of L's definitely took a toll on my morale, but what would I make out of myself if I let blows like this cripple me? So I went on with my journey and completed all the quests at the Maw of Noctarian, when, an hour later, a beam of light. I passed that bozo's corpse without even noticing him when he asked me to res him. That was the same Shadow Priest that stole our tag and started talking shit to me in whispers. I replied to him with a short, "Go fuck yourself, clown," laughed at his stupid ass, and went back to my travel, letting him enjoy his well-deserved 5 minutes of corpse walking. This final nail sealed my encounter with him, as a moral victory for me. God, I love this game. I finished all the quests Wyrmers Court had to offer, got my tabard, and decided to move on to Kirintor Reputation. If you're unfamiliar with Wrath of the Lich King reputation grinds, it basically works like this. You start at neutral status, then you do quests until you hit friendly, At that point, you're allowed to buy the tabard of this faction, which will grant reputation every time you kill a mob or a boss in a dungeon at level 80. Then, with the tabard, you run dungeons to hit Honored, Revered, and Exalted, and unlock better and better gear. And since you will anyway have to grind dungeons to get pre-raid gear, it allows you to kill two birds with one stone. And on a time crunch, as the one I found myself in, there's no better strategy. The main encampment of the Kirin Tor that offers you a ton of quests is located in the northwest of Borean Tundra, on an island called Caldara. And if the Borean Tundra is bleak and boring, Caldara on the other hand is a very interesting and vibrant zone. Last time I was here, I got locked out of progressing to Caldara by this specific quest, which you might remember if you have watched the second episode. Now that there's much less people here, I could finally finish the bomb quest and get to the isle. Also, I've heard that this quest was fixed, not allowing you to reset the timer due to the amount of griefing, but I'm not sure if that's true. After a few successful and not so much PvP encounters and many quests completed, I got my Kirin Tor rep to friendly, which allowed me to add one more tabard to my collection. My next target was the Knights of Ebonblade, and this faction is quite secretive in their ways. The first encampment of the Ebonblade that you are likely to stumble upon on your leveling journey is called Ebonwatch. To a new player, it would seem like an exclusively decorative location, but if you manage to uncover the Veil of Secrecy, you will find a very lengthy and adventurous questline that takes place in this part. To get to the first quest that will make you even worth talking to by the Ebonblade, you'll have to farm the ghouls and undead trolls around until you get an item called Unliving Choker. With this item, you will now be able to approach the man in the camp who goes by the name of Stefan Vado.
It would seem that you have been chosen.
Wait, I've heard that before.
Mother Nature has
Is that
chosen
what the Fate Weavers
some
prepared for me?
damage shall embody the
Seems like I'm on the right track.
plan. It was either wisdom or luck that prevented you from wearing this choker.
I'm not gay to wear chokers.
Your acquiring it was no random occurrence.
Does he imply I am? What an asshole. Okay, fuck this guy, let's talk to the Blood Rose. The Blood Rose turned out to be even worse bitch than Stefan, opening a conversation with this line.
I cannot help but wonder what makes you worthy of such attention.
Then she throws the choker to the troll and he explodes. I don't know if it bugged for me or perhaps I was not patient enough, so here's a quick recreation of what was supposed to happen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure. Come on guys, you can stop now. Thank you. Okay, let's get back to the story. Then Stefan sends me to collect abomination gats and ghoul drool for a secret ritual. After 5 mindless minutes of looking for ghoul drool, I finally get it done. And it's not the quest fault, it's me. You see, I turned off the nameplates to improve the immersion, and apparently I ran past the drool 100 times before I figured it out. Like, here's a comparison. That's how it's supposed to look, and here's how it looks for me. So, you live and you learn. When I bring him all the required materials, the Scorch disguise is complete, but he warns me that it's quite unstable, so I'll have to be on high alert. The next task is simple. To test out the disguise, Stefan sends me to a local Scorch merchant, an abomination named Gristlegut. Oh, wait a second, a dungeon popped? Anchor Head. Let's see what you have prepared for us. Oh, holy shit, it was simple. Give me that. GG's boys, I'm out. Okay, the disguise works wonders. One quick quest later, I get back to Stefan with the bitter plasma. And I misclick on some fat-ass druid chicken standing right in front of him and get fucked by the guards. Yep, that'll happen. Now we get to the serious business. Our task is to infiltrate the necropolis and earn the trust of the local Scorch commander named Drakuru. With my disguise on, I entered the portal to the main hall. The disguise worked so well that Drakuru misinterpreted me for the ghoul he once knew. To catch me up on the current state of affairs, my old friend sent me off on a gargoyle trip to show the target of his conquest. I need to share the intel with Stefan. Thankfully, he gave me a horn that I can use to call him over. The next Drakuru's task was to take charge of Geists and make sure they don't slack while collecting the Blight Crystals. Oh, one more dungeon popped? It'll be a smooth ride. Fuck. Okay. it will be a relatively smooth ride. Now, back to Drakuru. A little diversion for a good measure, and let's reconvene with Stefan. The diversion worked flawlessly. This time Drakuru asked me to punish one of his leaders, Darmuk, whom he put in charge of Blight Cauldrons. Oh, wait a second, one more dungeon. Give me that. Okay, at this point I'm just casually topping the meters. One detour to submit the dungeon quests, and back to the infiltration. After collecting the Blight Crystals for Stefan, I went down to kill Darmuk. For that, I was given a special tool that turns simple undead trolls into a giant monstrosity, able to take down the Halfling Overlord. Quest complete, top the meters, back to Stefan. Our next assignment was to lure out 3 leaders of the Drakari tribe who have not yet submitted to the Scourge. Yeah, seems like I'm getting too deep in their business. The way to do it was to kill the Drakari soldiers with an abomination under my command, and to complete it in a reasonable amount of time, I was gathering big packs of soldiers before exploding my abomination. Everything was going smoothly until that one alliance fucker decided to steal all of my mobs, so I had to teach him a lesson about stealing. Unfortunately, DKs are the most broken class in Wrath, so I didn't even get him below 80% before he killed me. We'll let him off with a little warning this time. With Griffer DK out of sight, I've accomplished my mission. That earned me enough trust for the Drakuru to finally uncover his secret strategy. His plan was to prepare an army of blight-infused trolls who possess incredible powers. And the first batch was ready, thanks to me. From now on, we are on the timer. It's time to talk to Stefan and prepare for the final sabotage, which would put an end to Drakuru's offensive. After I've shared Drakuru's plans, Stefan was able to prepare a staff that I can use to take control of the blight-infused trolls and turn them against Drakuru himself. To finish our mission, I went off the roof of the necropolis where Drakuru came to admire his newly acquired soldiers. And you won't believe who I found there. It was the same DK who greeted me on the previous quest.
Gentlemen, I have a plan.
I took control of the Blood Troll and turned them against the DK. He reacted quick, I should give him that. He was down to 1k health, but my troll was slowed. If I could only land the Frost Shock, the victory would be mine. 100 health, 1 hit, and he's down. And then he came back and killed me again. And one more time. Yeah, the war was lost, but the damage was dealt. The next attempt I was there alone, but I accidentally came too close to one of the trolls who was standing there. I've managed to pass the aggro to the troll under my control, but his health was descending too fast to be able to finish off Drakuru. I had to think of a new plan. When my troll was nearly dead, I put down a Stoneskin totem to buy some time, dismissed my troll and submitted a full health one. And I was just a moment short of success. And on the following attempt, my disguise fell off almost immediately, and the quest failed. I tried to jump down the necropolis to give it another try, but fell onto a wall that would turn out to be inaccessible without flying. And I didn't have flying. After failing to reach my corpse, I was forced to accept the 10 minutes of rest sickness. Beaten up and tilted, I decided to return to it with a fresh mind the next day. The following day I reached the top where I found the rogue doing the same quest, so we grouped up and finally took him down. And Drakuru's failure got noticed by the Lich King himself, who came there to deliver the final blow with Frostmourne.
Master, these mortals scum the double process. They must be made to suffer.
You have failed me, Drakuru. It is you who should suffer. Be content that your death is a quick one. As for you, I spare your insignificant life as a reward for this amusing betrayal. There may yet be a shred
Okay,
of potential.
let's get out of here before he
in you.
changes his mind. And so, our mission was complete. But we still have a long road in front of us. My next target was the Argent Crusade, whose quests took me on quite a bit of an adventure. But as you already know, that's a story for another day. Thank you for watching. Farewell.